Hey guys, as always, we're going to be recording this and it will be uploaded on the back end at rankfortressacademy.com. I am in the Philippines, so if we lose power, just realize we will come back. Same link, same place, everything else. So we got Mike Merlino and Brent Bowser in here today. We're going to be talking CTR manipulation. Got Holly in here too, but today, she's a little bit busy with daughter and stuff. So, no, I'm not the badass of SEO. Nope. William Jones is a badass of SEO. I love his ruthless, no prisoners. That's
Sounds like the intro to a Stallone movie or something, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe not Stallone. He's old and out the loop, but you know what I mean.
Action Chris, star. I was showing Chris yesterday. I premiered on the thing at the end. I showed our new white label SEO services website that's launching today. And then I also showed the new intro and outro of all my videos that will be starting probably next week. So
is that the rap video?
Yeah, it's got the rap video, and I got the other thing. You haven't even seen the outro. My wife don't like the image because she says it looks like the devil, and Chris was like, "Well, that's kind of the point."
That's the
point. So I don't know if any of y'all have even seen it. I'll show them this real quick if y'all want to see it. So we're actually already recording, but I'll show them. I'm going to let everybody get screen share access and all that jazz.
I want to know which one of the dancers is you?
None of them. I don't do all that shit. I'm 40-something years old, bro. Y'all gonna know. Y'all gonna know whenever I do it. I actually have a video in which I'm dancing it, but I don't do all that break dancing shit. I'll pop my damn. But
go get dance lessons, Ollie.
Yeah, I used to dance all the fucking time.
I did see that swag. I like that.
So that's the new swag.
That shit is fire.
And it says rank on Google without being held hostage by fake SEO gurus. And then I'll show you all the intro and outro. Y'all get to see it before, pretty much anybody else sees it. Besides everybody that I showed it to last night, and Chris has seen it, so admit. So here we go. This is the intro. If I could pull it up.
I felt special there for a hot second, but now I'm like third in line.
So that's the intro.
That's cool.
And then the outro. And it has the rap music playing, and then it also has the dancers, which I don't know how many of y'all have actually seen them. I actually had Matt Diggity come up in there and be like, "I love this, bro." He was like, "This must have," he was shocked. I'm just trying to do some things that other people aren't doing for SEO, That's that one. And there's this one, the new one.
There's my boy Merlino going shopping.
I didn't see none of these. I saw a clip, like a 10-second clip on TikTok or something.
No.
And this is for your VAs. They happen to know how to break dance.
You got it.
That culture is huge out there. I'd be knowing.
And then I got another one with Machine Gun Kelly music. So all of it has, but I will tell you this, I actually wrote the lyrics. I give them to the rapper writes them. And then we turn around and I give it to these guys and they do the dances. So we got a couple of more coming up with too. So, but I got about 12 songs all together. I'm just waiting to put it all out. So, I think it may be possible to see positive movement even for URLs or index using the WordPress Amplify. I'm watching it closely. Awesome. Yeah, let me know. But I'll be posting a lot of that in the new videos starting next week and stuff. I have a stream deck on the way, so I'm gonna be doing a lot more things, a little bit more. You'll still hear me do the, hey, this is William. I'm gonna be talking about the CTR, but then it'll go into the intro and then the outro, especially when me and Chris are doing it. So got his, that looks badass. Appreciate it. Yeah, I have a swag store we're putting together too. So it will have everything under the sun, so y'all guys can buy those shirts and hats and all types of shit we'll have. So all right, let's go ahead and get talking about CTR. We have Mike Merlino and Brent Bowser here. If you got CTR questions, put them in on the bottom. I'm gonna let them kind of run with it. Okay, I'll be here, but y'all can run with it. So are you going to do a WordPress Amplify plugin video showing us how to use the tool for GMBs? I mean, the only thing I do different with that tool is we will install on the subdomain, we install the location page plugin, sometimes also the schema plugin. And then I'll embed my videos that I make for the specific client on them. And then I'll also embed their GMB. I mean, that's the only thing I do different for it. So that's just me. Crazy clickbait, dude. Yep, that's what I'm working on. I got a bunch of other videos. I got videos of girls dancing. I got all types of stuff. So are you going to do a work? Yeah. So drop your questions in here, CTR manipulation, click-through rate manipulation. If any of you guys don't have my quote unquote ebook and want it, I'll send that to you too. Just make sure to message me. Chris Palmer could probably hang with those dancers. He's always moving. Yeah, he loves it. He's like me. He likes hip hop and stuff. So I knew he'd approve of it. As soon as I sent it to him, he's like, yep, because he's heard the lyrics and everything before I even came up with that shit. But yep, Holly. Okay, that's not okay. Questions, let's get them go. How do you get my ebook? You just simply say, hey, I want my ebook. And then I'll drop it in the message below. It's basically it's nothing advanced or nothing like that. It just goes, hey, this is what CTR, click-through rate manipulation is. That's all. Let's see here. GMB toolkit or ebooks, my ebooks.
Yo, Will,
yep.
Is this on I can unmute myself freely or no?
Yeah, you can unmute.
If I mute myself, I can unmute myself. All right, cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna drop this link real quick for y'all. It's in Google Drive. Can you explain on a high level what CTR manipulation is and give a few examples, Justin?
Yeah, Justin, certainly. So CTR manipulation, click-through rate manipulation. So lots of different programs out there. We could go via Holly and take a bunch of phones and target the URL or the location that you want to, and make those either calls or direction. Basically, what you're trying to do is get the social signals from either a phone or from a computer, clicking on your site to show activity, so that eventually, either through link velocity or new activity velocity, that the natural SERP will pick it up. It'll boost it up enough that people will start to do it on their own, and that's what gives you what manipulation is. We're trying to manipulate the social signals or the link signals to get some activity on the site or GMB that we're trying to rank or boost. So maybe an example is William likes he's a big fan of driving directions. So if you have a local page website with lots of driving directions, you can go to Microworkers, you can use Viper, you can use phones, you can, as long as you have lots of different IPs, and you go and you send traffic, known traffic to those driving directions. I'm a big fan of using driving directions from my competitor to my GMB or to my address. And the reason I do that is I believe that leaves a signal saying that you couldn't find the product or service at your competitor and you found it and then didn't make any other calls from there. So it shows that you had it. So that's kind of how I use it, or one of the ways I use it. Quiet group tonight.
Let's see here.
Everybody's too busy.
I'm
reading the
sorry.
ebook.
Yeah, sorry. That ebook is not an ebook. That's the Patrick just emailed me for whatever reason. It's not let me copy and paste it. That's the damn Zoom link. It's like shit. This thing don't work. CTR is so powerful. It just keeps sending me back to the damn CTR meeting. Justin, I'm trying to get several GMBs launched that don't have an address for service area business. So this is exactly what I need. Dan, if you were going to start one of these 3 Viper programs, GMB, traffic, or video, which one would you focus on? I'm guessing traffic. Nope.
What are you trying to do, Dan? For number
Yeah.
one, or what are you trying to rank? A GMB, a video, or a website organically?
Oh, light it up. Yeah, so I think the most bang in the buck, if it's a money thing, the video Viper, I think is the best option out of the 3. If you're going to have one, you can kind of get some action to a website, you can get action to a GMB, or you can just rank video citations and push that through. So that's how I would answer that. I would go with video. I don't know if you're going to light up everything with that, but yes. Yeah, so the question is push juice through the description of the video. Yeah, I would link out from there to my GMB, or link out to the website or to some citations, whatever you're trying to build.
Push juice through. Okay. Let me go back real quick. Light it up, push juice through the description of the videos is what he's trying to do. So Brent, do you set up a GMB Viper for competitor to own? Do you for competitor to own address driving direction or traffic Viper? Do you set up an address A to address B?
Yeah, I go direct traffic. So get the URL from Google, just make the driving directions. If you go through the long URL, you can clean out everything after the Z. So it'll go latitude, longitude, and there's a Z after it. Remove everything from to the right side of that Z. And then from there, I would run traffic to there with direct straight traffic with traffic Viper with the Google Viper.
See. Have you guys recently tried sending CTR to unlisted and then make it listed after 1,000 views?
That was a big thing, a minute ago. I don't know that you don't have to go that route. I think if you're sending good traffic to it, if it's unlisted right away, it works. So I haven't done it recently. It was something that we did, 6-7 months ago. I used to do a lot of, I've noticed William doing it too, is premieres where they're, sit and wait. It's a great way to sit at the top of Google or for YouTube. Make a thumbnail that's got phone number, and your service and just leave it hang there. And you can leave them up there for I've tried 4 months. I think you can do longer, but I've only ever tried 4 months. And just as a sitting billboard in YouTube.
Can you create CTR via social media, or do we need to do it via Viper or another tool?
Well, yeah, CTR manipulation. If you've got 20 friends that are willing to sit there and click on something for you, that's CTR. You know, it's just not as consistent and not as convenient as a tool. But micro workers has been, you know, pretty successful for a lot of people. So it can be done. It can be done manually. You know, we do have Holly and she's famous for using phones and doing it, you know, super manually, which there's a great argument that it's the most, you know, evergreen or organic way to do it. Just not a lot of people are going to have that kind of commitment. We've talked about that a bunch here, or understand where to drive that traffic and how much, as she does. So then we start to use tools.
You can also use it doing Facebook ads. I mean, there's all types of things. Facebook ads,
Oh yeah,
Google
yeah,
ads,
that's a great point.
you know, all types
Google
of
ads,
ways you can
yeah.
do it. But Facebook ads, especially, you go into, let's say, a 5 mile radius or 1 mile, then 2 mile, then 3 mile radius doing Facebook ads.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find an old domain that's still got traffic and you want to forward the traffic to whatever that entity is that you're trying to build, that's CTR as well. I mean, it's people are going to hit it and then get off it really quick. So there's some pluses and minuses there,
Yep.
But it's still a strategy. If you're looking for a strategy, that's not Viper or tool related.
And ads also get very expensive very fast. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
The only way they don't get expensive is if you're actually setting up a, if you will, a break-even type sales funnel and you're doing it a different way, but I'm not going to be discussing that. But let's see here. Sean, new to the group, just purchased the training. Thank you so much, Sean. I have a couple of VAs doing SEO for me. They currently do web 20s, basic audits, lots of video training in the group. Where should I start? If I was to tell you to start anywhere with the VAs, it's going to be on not GMB Mastermind or Master Class, but GMB Master. It's GMB Reloaded. That's the first one. I'm in the second one, and it has a lot more details in it. The third one is the one we're doing right now. That's more up to date, but the second one is where I would have them start, okay, and go through that. And they have questions, they can reach out. My clients do home services and water damage. SEO is difficult with some large, competitors or competition. That's always the case with water damage or water, anything with water damage, restoration, pest control. Sometimes have to leave for a few. Hope to be back soon. Thank you, Logan. Patrick, Brent, and Michael, since this is a new GMB master class, some of the members are newer to CTR. Could you guys explain CTR setup that works for GMBs for verified and unverified, or take them through the steps? Also, just FYI, some of you guys that maybe are, if you will, new and know nothing about CTR. Michael, I believe, Michael, you were in it, but I know Brent was in it and a couple other people. We did a boot camp on CTR, but that was just specifically, it was with Vipers and a couple other things, but, overall, but feel free to.
It's the same strategy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it goes to the basics of setup, percentages using Google Search Console and everything else. Let's see here. How do you use CTR where the customers go to the GMB, click through to the website, call the phone number of a business, a complete customer interaction? How do you use it and how do you do it?
So, I mean, I use Viper. So then I would just set that campaign up to do exactly what you just asked. Set it up for a location close to my client, run it to the keyword. It'll search for the keyword until it finds my listing. It goes into listing, and then it picks what to click on. You set the amount of time you want it to sit on the GMB. And where there was a third part to that. Yeah, so they call on the phone, and then to the visit, and then the big thing with Viper or any tool is you want to make sure that you go through and find all the other links that are on that click through, and make sure that those are blacklisted so that you're not wasting your CTR. That's, I think, something that's missed by quite a few people. And I always forget the plugin. What's the Chrome plugin, Michael?
Link Gopher.
Link Gopher. So if you use Link Gopher, it'll go through and strip out all the links on the page, obviously take the ones out that you want it to travel to, and put those in the blacklisted box, and then it won't go there. And I think the other tools, Michael, other tools works basically the same way, right?
Yeah. I put the link for the Chrome extension in the chat.
Dan Volks, I used to have a water damage client. One of the partners shared with me how he spent a lot of his time meeting up with plumbers in the area. He'd build a relationship with plumbers to refer business his way, because a lot of times the plumbers are the first to get the call for busted pipes, water heaters, etc. Yep. It's not all about online. Brad, are you still using Viper? Have you moved on to something new? Who's that question for? I plead the fifth. I'll tell you that much. Y'all can answer that question.
Yeah, I use it. I don't think William's using it, but I'm using it. Michael uses it with some other tools.
Yep.
Yeah, and some of the Chrome tools called Link Gopher.
Yeah, I put a link to it in the
Yeah. He says it's fire.
No, that was me. I put that. Yeah, somebody
Yeah,
said
man.
it sounds good. I said, yeah, that's fire. I love Link Gopher. It's such a beautiful tool.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want, we often get into this group and start talking about CTR, and CTR is way down. You know, there was some other questions here about being new. CTR is way down the task list in your job, right? You want to make sure that the website is mirroring the GMB, and the GMB has got services, and you need to follow all the things that William's teaching before you get to CTR. So I don't want to make it sound like fire up some $100 bot GMB and drive traffic to it and you're going to get action, because you're not.
I've just found for the most part, it's like if people actually do those basics, they don't even need the CTR.
Yep. No, there's truth to that.
Now, if you were quote unquote, let's say, you know, and Holly may have talked about this, I don't even personally think you even need the Google Search Console numbers per se. If let's say you're already in the top 10 and you just want to be in the top 3, if you used Holly's method and you wanted to, you know, bump some traffic up into it, or actually a network, you could actually do it without having very specific numbers. Just on going there gangbusters and drop 500 damn views. I'm talking about, you know, something that's actually reasonable. Which maybe that's why most people should do the numbers, because most people are unreasonable. Let me just go in here and drop 1,000 new clients that came to my store that have never showed up ever before.
Chris Palmer, I think if you want to go out and search one of his, I like what he said probably the best. He takes whatever analytics he can get. I think he used SEMrush. And he gets the amount of traffic his competitors are getting, and then bases his CTR on competitor traffic, because that's really what you're trying to beat. So I've started to play around with it. I don't have any good results to say it works or doesn't work, but I mean, if I put that guy on a list of 1 to 10, he's definitely in the top 3. So I listened to what he has to say, and I would suggest that anyone wants to go listen to, I wish I could tell you the exact one, but it's CTR manipulation, and he talks about volume, and it's about competitor volume instead of percentage of overall monthly volume, which I think is very smart.
He actually, and then on top of it, he has a 3-month way he does it. Like first month is just, brand name.
Yeah.
And then the next one is brand name plus keyword. Then he has a 3rd month, but he actually, we've been talking a lot about CTR lately privately. So
that's all in that same video.
Playing from Mike's desktop.
Oh, sorry about that. That's the way I was doing stuff for as long as I've been doing it. Nothing against Chris, but before I even knew who Chris Palmer was, that's just I was always branded plus keyword, make that pop in the knowledge panel, and then push proximity further from there and add on more keywords. With a GMB, I was letting y'all know about that. I was hammering traffic right as soon as I got it. I started hammering it with traffic, like 100 visitors a day, which is crazy. Trying to break it, didn't break, but wasn't doing anything, and literally wasn't showing up in rank trackers, right? Like it would show 20 plus, even where the GMB was located, which is, I never had that happen before. But as I mentioned last week, once it got indexed, the Yelp page got indexed. About 2 days later, started popping up in the rank trackers and update. Now it's starting to get some greens slowly, right? But I didn't send I sent branded traffic mixed with keyword traffic just right off rip. So I'll keep you guys posted on that one. And when I get my hands on some other GMBs, I'm going to try some similar tests. But very interesting to see, because I've always been a preacher of slow and steady, which I'll still tell you guys, go slow and steady, because GMBs are worth a lot. You don't want to, burn it down. But I'm starting to understand why some people say, listen, I hit it with traffic, like I hit it, right? Especially depending on the niche, the
what
geo.
type of GMBs do you need to test on?
HVAC. Some HVAC would be nice.
Look at look at. Oh, I've got GMBs. William, you slayed me.
And guys,
I
real
can get
fast.
as many as you want, bro. You
All
don't
right, well,
understand.
let's
talk.
We could definitely talk about that right after this is over. So guys, real thing, I want to say one thing.
Hold on. What city, what state, bro? What city, what state?
No, well, hold on. I'll private chat you that. Yeah. I don't want, I'm extra private, dog.
Send it to me via email, because I'm about to have my boy do it. So
all right, say no more. As soon as I finish saying this, Brent, remind me to email him. Okay. I want these guys, I want them to hear this though. So like Holly said, and like Brandon said, and we've said, right? CTR is not the fix all. It's just not. It's the cherry on top that could be replaced, right? Like with something else. Like doesn't even have to be a cherry. And what I mean by that is, you got to have your on page together first and foremost. If your on page is not good, forget about it. You lost. You're losing. If your content, which is part of the on page, is not right, you're gonna have issues. So once you get that in order, right, you want to get some links, right? Because if Google doesn't know who you are, even with traffic, unless you're just trying to rank the GMB, then it could be done without links for sure. But if you're going for the long-term play, organic and GMB, you want to get your RDs up, referring domains, right? You want to get those from sites that get traffic, not fucking PBNs that don't get traffic, right? You want sites with traffic. Once you get your RDs up, then if you already don't have the natural traffic coming in from those domains, which is possible, and or paid ads, right? Because you're dealing with clients, then you manipulate the traffic, right? And the CTR, which is where the whole CTR manipulation comes from. What we're really manipulating is the amount of traffic that comes into the site. But the goal is to bring your CTR ratio higher, so it makes Google understand when we show this impression to the user, It's the percentage that they're gonna click on your property is high. We love this. So understand the traffic, it's just like the fuel in the car. You need the car to work right. The engineering needs to be functional, properly functional. Then traffic helps, and you could boost proximity with it, and maybe, you know, get some additional keywords in there that maybe you probably shouldn't have, right? That's where the CTR fucking traffic comes in, y'all. Don't get this shit twisted or misconstrued, because you're gonna set yourself up for disaster and failure. Like, oh, I'm just gonna send some traffic and rank some shit. Nah, just letting y'all know. And that was me not getting excited because I'm in a calm mood. Don't do it to yourself.
Or if you want to do it, you know, get some GMBs that you can do it too.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. So we're not talking, like when we talk, we're trying to break stuff. That's personal stuff that we're trying to learn from, not client sites. You know,
Yes.
Holly in here said that she threw 1,000 views a day. I think it said it's gone by, but that's not a client site. That, you know, she says it further down the chat. So be careful what you're doing and what your end game is. Know what your goal is. When we talk about a lot of this stuff, is we're really trying to find out what moves the needle so that we can, you know, do it to our client site with confidence that we're not going to hurt anything. Because I don't know, a lot of people don't like having, you know, straight up conversations or hard conversation. Try and have a conversation when you told your client you were going to rank them and then now you can't find his GMB anywhere on the planet.
Yep.
That's a tough conversation.
So even Holly in here, she goes, you have to get your basics down first, then you can do CTR and get a fuck ton of referring domains. And I think that will overtake CTR metrics.
Yeah,
and that's what I've said before. It's like you could do a lot of the basic stuff, internal linking page structure, all that shit, and never even have to touch CTR.
Yeah,
so
we're talking the difference in between, like all of this is based on location, competition. You know, if we're in the middle of, like Mike comes from New York, so his niche in New York is heavy, right? So that's why we're deep into CTR, because we're working on that. If we were in
if your competition's higher, if your competition's higher, you're going to need to pull out all the guns you can.
Right. If you're in nowhere, Nova Scotia, which probably no one here knows where that is, but you know, and there's one plumber, and he's trying to beat the plumber from 3 towns over, which is 2 hours away, then you're right. You probably don't need it ever. So understand your situation is what I'm getting at, and then use only what you need. You know, you don't want to blow it all on your first month. SEO is a long-term game.
So Don asks, can website session recorders like Crazy Eggs pick Viper sessions on our own website? Did you find any way to see our own campaigns in real time? It is so blind that we don't know what's Viper's actually doing on our website.
No, there's truth to that. I've never really cared, to be fair. I just run by bait. I know what my tests are, and I run my tests. And then when I know it works, the strategy works, then I move it to a client site. So I haven't had a lot of
He don't care about actually seeing how it works, as long as I could see the results of it working. If it's results of it working, then it's cool. If there's no results, then obviously you're not going to use it on a client site.
Hey, Bill's from Nova Scotia. That's fantastic.
If you're competing for super competitive keywords like white hat SEO, do you need CTR to compete?
Where is that one? I can't see that one.
This is from Patrick. He said, if you're competing for super competitive keywords, for example, white hat SEO, do you need CTR to compete? In other words, if I wanted to get ranked for white hat SEO.
You don't need it. You don't need it, but it's going to help. You need traffic, right? So you're going to wait for real traffic to come. You're going to pay for traffic, or you're going to manipulate traffic. That's what it boils down to.
I agree. There's lots of ways to skin a cat.
What is an AI girlfriend? Dan's asking. No clue. Holly, I did 1,000 visits a day for like a month, never tanked it, brand new GMB. Yeah, exactly. I used to think the same thing until I started listening to Holly, especially talking about the traffic. She said it's just like, you know, she doesn't go by metrics from what I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, Holly, please correct me. Patrick William, in which class do you go into the Google Search Console and how we use it? Is that the very first GMB Masterclass training? I don't go into Google My Business Search Console per se. You know, I could do that on a class. So if you want me to, I will. The class is mainly, I just go over how to rank something. Now, I mainly use GNB more than Google Search Console, but I do like Google Search Console more than Google Analytics. So I'll go over that, Patrick.
So I think, Patrick, we've talked about it, like Google Search Console here, because I personally believe that if you're running CTR to a website or to a GMB and it's not, and that keyword that you're running isn't already showing up in the Search Console, then why bother? You should be doing so much more to get that to show up. And that's where the Search Console comes into effect, where any of the stuff on here that I've talked about it's just a place to know what you're already being searched for. It's in your GMB as well under Insights. You know, you can get those keywords, and that's where you should be basing that keyword research, if you will, for CTR.
Let's see, let me let these other people in here. Okay. I agree with the slow and steady approach. I've tried both. And I've tried both with Viper before, and neither one of them broke it either. So that's why I'm kind of curious. Let's see, Bill, to everyone, do softwares like SEO Pilot, Money Robot, Yive Ranker, etc. have the place in any of my heavyweight strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. Embeds.
Yeah.
Link building. Juice up your tiers. Citations. I mainly use Money Robot for embeds.
You ever use Ranks Now?
Which one?
Ranks Now?
Ranks Now? No.
Rank Snap.
Rank Snap. No, I don't think I heard of that.
It's another builder, great for embeds. Same sort of thing.
Ollie says, I love it. Ollie says, slow and steady equal wimps. Just kidding. Just kidding. Well, sorta. I love it.
Hey,
Brad says, slow and steady, steady and slow. That's the way I always go. Oh, Holly Wimps laughing out loud. Yeah, I target churn and burn. You can do what? You can't do that with clients. So she doesn't, from my recollection, she doesn't do a shit ton of client work. It's like find something that works, use it, and then once it burns out, go to the next best thing. I mean, so Patrick, to everyone, oh, glad you added that because I was going to do it with clients. Haha. Holly, I don't know about that, Mike. RF domains is links, regardless if it gets traffic. It's a numbers game, I think.
Oh, word. So you saying that if you, so a bunch of RDs from PBNs that get no traffic still holds the weight because they're RDs? Because I would like to know if that's so. Hey, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much, I'm sort of testing it. So we're going to do, right now we're blasting out 300 referring domains for the first month, and then we'll do 600, and then we're going to do 1,000. But I actually think that the referring domains on a number scale, regardless of metrics and traffic, is going to be stronger than a CTR scale.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
Just because I think if you take any niche and you have 1,000 referring domains across the board, it should rank for the things that I rank for, right? It's not things like that. Maybe you guys would do like plumbing and on a national scale, it probably wouldn't work the same way, but on a local scale, I think
Holly,
better.
What's your opinion on spam score with those?
I don't even look at spam score.
No, you don't care, eh? That's impressive.
Well, I don't care because I'm boosting the network, and then off the network, I boost another network, and then like I'm going 3 tiers deep, right?
So you're clean. So you're cleaning them.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. And so the metrics on all across the board should be a DR of a 35, and Majestic has, you know, the highest I think I've gotten is like maybe 17 or 20. I don't really look at the spam score because it's not, I don't know. I think it's just, you guys may disagree with me, but I think that like, there's so many things to look at, right? That you're overlooking what the actual thing is that's ranking you. If it's a numbers, it's a scale, and you have more than what your competitor has by a lot, then you should win out regardless of the spam score.
Yeah, listen, I'm asking because I struggle with spam score on a regular basis because in my mind it's a metric that's checked, and obviously even your Google email address and all of those things, it doesn't hold the same weight if you're getting all kinds of crap in it as if you had something that was really clean. So I can't believe that they dropped that. Like they care about that if you were trying to build something else with a Gmail account, and then you're getting links with the same condition that it doesn't hurt you. But it's nice to hear you say that. So that
like if you go and look at some of the niches like payday loans, you're expected to have thousands of referring domains and thousands of backlinks. You're expected to have a high spam score. So based on that, I think it's a it's a numbers game. And if you can get the numbers game to work for your local niche, maybe you don't have to do so many. Maybe you don't stay in the clean neighborhoods. But I'm using a different, like I'm not using regular PBNs too. So I'm doing it a little bit more safer, but still on a numbers game, I guess.
Ali, that brings me to that's a nice segue into what I was just coming in my mind. So because I know you're doing this with news sites, right? Like, do you think it would be the same play with like a bunch of fucking PR links? You know what I mean? Them shitty ass PR links.
Like the press release links?
Yeah.
Well, so
and I asked, and real fast, Holly, real quick, little backdrop. I asked because I literally stopped running press releases to my money sites a while ago because it started fucking my shit up.
About press releases. Like me and Randy, every day of the week, we argue press releases because I'm like, you put one article, exact duplicate content goes to 1,000 or 100.
Yes, same anchor text every,
that's crazy. You're gonna have an anchor text problem eventually. Yep. So why don't you just go and buy the guest blogs, or I don't know, however you're gonna buy links, and just do guest posts and individual articles that are spun versus taking one article. I mean, it always depends upon like your client. Does your client want to have the brand searches? Does he want to be pat on the back? Look at all these news links. You know what I mean? It just depends on what the end game is. But as SEO agencies, I understand they want press releases. But if you stand back and you look at press releases versus guest blogs or even PBN links, they're, in my opinion, they're stronger. But that doesn't mean that press releases don't have their places either.
I agree. I agree.
But what your client is, what you're trying to rank for, what your end game is. A client site press releases, may be good. I don't want to have it go out to 50 and only have one show up. That doesn't work for me.
Nice.
That's great insight. Thank you. Made some good points there.
That'd be a nice test though. So now I got a new test. I'm gonna run like five press releases in a week, or no, maybe not a week, maybe one every 3 days, right? Get the RDs up and just see what happens.
Well, like I've tested so I haven't done an official press release company like I think his name was Lane who was on last night, and like Randy's press release. So but I have done a little bit of testing where I've sent one article to 300 of my news sites, which is considered a press release because it's a news site, right? So I've sent out one article to 300, and then I've sent one individual spun article to each site with a change of the title and the anchor text and like branded. And I can get more of my sites to show up on page 1 and page 2 with the individually spun article. So, and I play numbers game, so that's why I target that. But as a client, I don't know if you would want to do that or not.
Got it. And guys, also, because I just seen somebody mention Lane, and I've never seen Lane stuff or been on any of those webinars. So
Yeah,
I'm not saying there's
it's
anything
on
against.
Tuesdays. It's on Tuesdays, and me and Graham and a couple other people, we've literally done where it's an isolated test where the only thing we did was press releases and reviews and turn geogrids from red to green in weeks. I ain't talking about doing one press release. I'm talking about when we do them through Signal, if you will, through Signal Genesis, doing 4 at a time.
Nice. Are you linking to the actual money site or to other places?
Direct
to the money site?
Direct. And it's mixed. And whenever I use them, I'm not using, for example, I don't use exact key, the keywords every time. Sometimes it's going to be naked, text links and everything else. It's a mix. It's never going to be.
You got to mix it
up. For instance, on the sod installation, there are only 2 types of backlinks I ever did: YouTube and the press release. That was it.
Nice.
I didn't do citations. I didn't do PBNs. I didn't do nothing.
How many, when you do a PR on Lane's network, how many places does it go out to?
It goes out to, I think, 30 something. And
all right. So real fast, I want to correct something real fast. When I was saying what I said about PRs, the company that I use, it gets picked up by like hundreds of places.
And Lane would tell you that's the biggest difference between his and their garbage. He will tell you straight.
That's smart. I agree, because listen to what I'm saying. I personally fucked my own sites up by fucking doing too many press releases to the money site I spammed my site out with too much money site anchors, bro. You get 300 links coming in on one PR.
What he tells you. He said,
right? Forget about it, man. If you do 3 or 4 PRs in a couple of months, it's just terrible. So wanted to clarify that.
For instance, sorry for coughing, but for instance, most press release companies, I don't know about Randy because I've never used it, but most of them, like you go on Fiverr and some of these other places and buy them, those press releases last less than 60 days.
Yeah, they drop off.
Okay. Thanks. Signal Genesis lasts over a year.
Oh, wow.
So when I do a press release for somebody, you can get a thing 6-7 months later and it's still there. And when we do,
that's pretty good, because Randy's I think his drop off after, I've tried a lot of them, they drop off after the 30 to 60 days. And if it's only going out to 30, that is way better than going out to like 100 spamming, like,
yes, way better.
You know what I mean?
And from what I remember on top of it, because he changed it after this last that's one of these Google algo updates, was basically about not having too many do follow links specifically geared towards guest blog posts and stuff like that. And he changed it. I think you can only have 1 or 2 do follow links per article, 1 or 2. But it only goes out to about 30 of them. Excuse me. It's one of those days. But
I'm smoking and you coughing.
It's bad. It's no. I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Yo, so real quick, while we on PRs, right? Because I love to play with PRs to boost shit, right? So PRs could be used in a lot of ways, guys, right? So if you have Google sites, right? I love running PRs to the Google site because then those links hit the embeds. So you're not directly sending them nasty links, but you still get some juice. I send them to GMB posts, GMB reviews, the GMB free website. Like, you know, I don't want to act like, I want y'all to understand I run about over 70 PRs a month on over 15 GMBs. Like my one content girl is just straight writing PR content and spinning it. So I'd use a lot of PRs. I'm just not a big fan of sending it to the money site on the network I'm playing with. But PRs are very useful little tools to play with.
Let's see here. Okay, Justin, thank you for saying that. That clicked for me. Dan, slow and steady with what you know works, but Holly can be like the guy taking Captain Kirk to space and back. Michael's new name is the SEO preacher. Don, awesome, Merlino, on-site, off-site, very important before CTR. Do you have any opinion about link daddy domain booster stuff? It's one of the reasons why I tell people all the time. I mean, me and Chris were actually talking about last night. He doesn't even disavow bad, or if you will, toxic links, because to him, it's like, you're seriously going to go in there and do Google's job for them. They'll disavow it if they think it needs to be disavowed. He said most people worry about, for example, someone doing negative SEO. Someone's doing negative SEO against me. They're sending a bunch of spammy, crappy links. He doesn't do nothing with it. It's like, don't do nothing with it. Now, if someone's coming in there and dropping, you start seeing, especially thousands or hundreds of them, high DA backlinks, and they're coming from nowhere and you're not doing it. You better watch it, because they could come in there and be high DA backlinks, and all of a sudden they switch them and start pointing them to porn sites or casino sites or something that's going to hurt you. And the next thing you know, your rankings have just tanked, because now it's not just some spamming crappy backlinks. It's actual backlinks. It's an actual negative SEO campaign. Let's see here. Dawn, like stuffing a small block 500 horsepower motor into a Honda Civic. Thanks, Ollie. John Price, I think a lot of people just throw out, I do XYZ, then I start sending traffic, or hit it with signals, publishing signals and things like that, and it goes right over most people's heads. In the class on Mondays, we go through it step by step. So on Mondays, it's, you know, this is what we're going to do. Today is an audit. Next week is going to be a SOP, for example, on how do I do the Google embeds? How do I make the PDF using using Google Draw and stuff like that? So if you follow everything we've laid out step by step, I mean.
Yo, matter of fact,
Yeah.
Will, hold on a minute. Pardon me. Excuse me. What do you with the PDF on the Google Draw for the reviews? Do you have them go in like once every week, so once a month, and then update it, or you just kind of do it once and play off
I do
that?
it once and I leave it alone. It depends.
Okay.
Now it depends on if the client doesn't have any reviews, then that's totally different. But most of the time they already do. And you can, it's easily done. It's just inside of Google Draw. So once I show you how to do it. Mark Miller, is there a negative to having too many backlinks, or is there only negative to too much CTR?
Great question. I've never seen anything bad with too many links. I mean, we've already discussed with what I thought was spam, but I'm going to rethink that myself.
What was the
But no,
question?
Is there a bad thing with too many backlinks?
I think too many
backlinks
too fast.
Too many spammy backlinks, yeah. Too many links too fast, you know, could not look natural either. Listen, guys, it's kind of an old cliche, right? Whether it's the drug game or whatever game you want, it's got fucking two options: quality and quantity, or quantity versus quality, right? With the links, and Holly's knows about this shit. I wasn't even doing SEO in these days, right? You could just send GSA 30,000 fucking link package and you're ranking, right? Or whatever tool it was. Simple. It was about quality. I mean, quantity. Now, that shit is not like that, man. Like, it's about what kind of links you got more. And this is my opinion, right? And what I'm trying to say is you can't just send 20,000 links and rank some shit. You're going to spam your shit out and tank some shit probably before you rank it. Find good quality links first. You know, mess with news sites like Holly has, stuff like that. Those are the type of links you want to get in. And assuming this is local SEO you're talking about, you want to get local links. You know what I mean? Any type of local link you could get that's going to show Google, okay, this person is in this area, and that helps.
I remember back in the day before Penguin Panda, I'd had people come to me, hey, I want to be in spot 1, 2, you know, and the first page and you just need a couple of thousand backlinks, go get them, spam it to shit, and then they're on page 1. I mean, it was easy peasy. Holly says, I think the big difference also is I do work for myself. So if I destroy something, that's on me. With a client, you need to be pretty smart and not fuck up their site. It's true. Patrick, hey, that's where I live, Nova Scotia. I compete with local fishermen and how to catch fish in butt freezing cold weather.
Man, you that was a while ago, Nova Scotia.
Yeah, I got 78 comments to go through, bro.
Holy snacks.
Thanks about teaching Search Google Console. Do you have any tools to track CTR like certain clicks? No, and certain clicks from what I've seen is garbage.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
You know, Patrick, thanks, Brent. I didn't know that about Google Search Console. Holly, if you buy links, do you look at the metrics or is it a numbers game for you? I don't buy links.
I think it's a numbers game by what she said earlier.
Yep. Patrick, Holly, do you use CTR aimed at your Google News sites or just your money sites?
I'm playing a referring domain game. So my CTR would just be sent through the referring domains. I don't just send direct CTR anymore. If I do, I use Zenaposter. I've been using Zenaposter for 5 years, so I just use that.
Oh, Holly, you're going 3 tiers deep, so Google News sites direct to money sites.
I mean, I wouldn't say that because I never really have money sites. I have landing pages that are just on GetResponse. So, and then my post on the news site is my landing page. I don't make this like nice looking site of ugly sweaters or whatever affiliate product I'm doing. I find the affiliate and I send the traffic through redirects that way. So, but yeah, I mean, I try to go 3 tiers deep. That's not, that's what I'm setting up at least.
Okay. Robert, 3 tiers deep equals backlinks pointing at backlinks pointing at backlinks, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder if you could try something with a press release at a tier 2 and then another press release at that press release, like stack the press releases. I bet that would be pretty powerful at a news site. I might have to try that.
Yeah, we stack all of our press releases on top of it. We do that.
Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that. Absolutely stack all your press releases.
Same thing we do with GMB posts. We stack the press releases. So.
And stack them all together. Like I think I might have mentioned this last week, right? But like I like to do now, create a video citation based off something that you'll make like an event and an event post and create an Eventbrite event for it locally, right? And then just set all that shit up, new blog posts, new GMB, new Twitter moments, Reddit, Tumblr, like the whole fucking shebang bang. get all those links, and then I throw them on a Google site, and then I send a lot of traffic to that Google site, use link gopher and make sure it's only hitting those new links, not the old links.
We were talking about that. Chris to me the other days, go out there and create a event, create a job post, and then take that job post and link it over to an event, then link the event over to your website.
Yeah, and with that, you could do a lot of extra shit with the schema too. You get extra schema. Yeah, you know, I know that's it. That's the hidden layer on what you just mentioned. That's why it's a job post, because you get that schema.
Remember, we're now looped back to the amount of CTR question. And if you start to generate these new events, then Google has no, they can only think that you're going to get more traffic because you've done all this promoting. So then traffic doesn't become, it can't last long, but now the 1,000 views a day for 3 or 4 days makes total sense. It's totally natural because you've made this big event. So if you're going to run traffic and you want to run big traffic on something that's money site, then these are the tactics that you use to make it look more natural.
Yeah, Patrick, Signal Genesis doesn't have that problem with duplicate content because you're not doing it across 1,000 something, crappy ass sites to begin with. Number one, if you look at most of these things you can buy, if you went to Fiverr, you can get a press release for like 300, 400, 500 damn websites, supposed news sites, and they're all crap. Number one. Number two, the press release ain't gonna last no more than 30 to 60 days. Okay. And then they're gonna fall off. And then, then it's gonna quote unquote, I have my own opinions about duplicate content to begin with, but then it's not going to work. And then the anchor text, I'm not using the same text on every press release I do. I'm not even using keywords on every single press release I do. There's multiple things we do, and we have tested it enough to go, I'm only going to do a press release and reviews and see what happens, and change a geogrid from red to green doing so. Graham's not on here, but Graham has, if you want to reach out to Graham, he's got tons of them that we've done just that with.
Yeah, the other thing, before we move off that question, something I found really interesting on his webinar last night that I was really impressed by was that they say that they're getting juice from the reverse or the backward facing index. So when you have duplicate content, let's say you have 5 of the exact same page, Google will pick usually the first one, and then that will be in the forward facing index or the SERPs. And then the other 4 will be in the reverse facing index, so you can't see them, but they're indexed, and you can find out that they're indexed. So what they said last night with their system is they're getting the action from the reversed index. So that's a game changer if that's the truth. So I don't believe that they're telling you if it isn't. So I'm going to definitely test their stuff out, because that was, for me, was a game changer. Then duplicate content on this strategy that's a big difference. So now we don't have to worry about nearly as much as we did on your site.
Holly, is your training with Luke for DR manipulation still relevant? Because I was going over Luke's video and press releases.
It's, so when we released it, like 3 days later, Ahrefs picked it up and plugged the hole. So we are doing it differently now. So no, it's not so relevant.
Shelf life longer for guest posts too. I beg to differ, but that's just me. It all depends on where you're getting them from, I believe. What's the quality? Good question, Patrick. Already got that one. So Robert, I know a guy that only uses press releases to warm up a money site before hitting it with a backlink campaign. Yep. Joseph Kahn. I was wondering how you use Genesis. So maybe, I mean, I did a video earlier this week, but what I'm doing specifically, we do a blog. And then after we do the blog, I'm putting it in a Wave Video Maker. Then Wave Video Makers makes a video. I do a YouTube stack. And then I take that same blog and I'm doing all the magic crap I do with the YouTube, embed that video onto the blog, and then I take that same blog as is, not spinning it, doing nothing to it, and I make it into a press release. I hot link images from Google My Business Posts, and then I also embed the video into the press release. And I also do, add in the schema, all the other shit, a couple of backlinks, and then, daisy chain my press release, daisy chaining being see previous press release here, see previous press release here, see previous press release here, and siloing my, if you will, my press releases.
Do you follow their 10-week program? How they do the press release and then wait a couple of weeks, do it again, and then
Nope.
no, okay.
Like with
Right.
our guys, for instance, we'll do one a month for most clients, but I'm actually dropping it where we'll do for some of them, we'll do one every week. So give me 1 second.
Help him catch up on them comments, Brent, because that boy is super behind.
I don't even know where he was.
Who's talking about Nova
William-
Scotia?
Yeah, because that was a while ago.
Yeah. What? Sorry, William, I don't know where you were.
No, I'm here. I'm just
Can
going
you-
through it.
Can your VAs do outreach? Is that where you are?
No, we don't do that crap.
Okay.
I mean, can we? Yeah. I mean, would I personally even recommend it? No. That's just me.
Brent, is the spam score because of used Tumblr sites as BPMs? No, the reason it is, I farm, if it's true that spam score doesn't count, then I'll be able to farm way more Tumblrs and I'll have a bigger network. But I've always not reclaimed any Tumblr that had a high spam score. So that's where that came from. Link Daddy.
Yeah, so the Ray says just the one press release he has so far, it's been at least 6 months. So, and I have several. Robert, do you have a question that hasn't been answered?
Yeah. Can
Go
you
ahead,
hear me?
buddy. Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's actually a really newbie question for Gutenberg. I'm used to Thrive themes.
Okay.
So like, I'm not talking about the file size or any of that crap, but physically resizing the photo. Like I've watched a couple tutorials about it. One of them, they got the little button that you click it and drag it and it resizes the photo. Mine doesn't have that. I don't know, my dashboard, like, I've looked around a couple times today. I spent
And you're trying to resize a photo for what now?
well, just because it's just too much.
On the website is what you're talking about, right?
Right.
So we'll resize. What we do is we optimize them and resize them before ever uploading them onto the website. Because the worst thing you can do is actually do it on the website, in my opinion. Especially it's going to affect page speed. It's going to affect multiple things. On top of it, realize you should be optimizing photos, through layering or however you want to do it with some other tactics before ever uploading them, not just for size matters. But we'll be actually going over that in another class in which I go over how to add latitude, longitude, and a bunch of other stuff on it. So I personally would optimize it via Photoshop. We do it via Photoshop,
Well, I guess I didn't explain it very well. So I did that. I resized it, I used
Mhm.
Canva to make it into a square so it looked right. Then I
Mhm.
used tiny PNG, whatever to optimize it. It's like,
Yeah, I would never do that.
250. Oh, you don't do that?
Mhm.
Really?
Yes, like a lot of times, for instance, a lot of these WordPress plugin tools that you use, let's say if I took one of these tools and I went in there and I optimized it, put my latitude, longitude, put all that jazz in there, what happens is whenever you upload them and those tools are there, most of the time they strip all the data away.
Right.
Everything that I just put all my effort into, latitude, longitude, keywords, XF data, all that shit, it removes every bit of it. So we don't do any of that. We do everything via Adobe Photoshop. Let me let this person in, but that's
Yeah,
just me. I mean, that's been through experience because I used to use a compressor like you're talking about. I won't do it ever.
Well, it's not a plugin, it's a website, but
You know, I
yeah,
just don't trust any of that shit.
really? Okay. Okay.
I do it via Photoshop and do all my layering and do all my EXIF data and everything else. And once I have all that done, then I upload it to the website. But
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
All right,
Going
let's
down that
see.
list.
Yeah. Last GMB masterclass, William showed us the signal genesis method. I also have a spreadsheet. I know Joseph was asking about it, or someone. I actually have his sheet, and he gave his sheet away yesterday, which is actually in the back end of the site, where he goes over how to do a press release in 10 steps. A-Rays, he's got, I think, 48 news sites. Patrick, can you talk about embeds and how they're used in a Google News site or other sites?
Embeds.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Embeds, right? Whatever you embed on a page, all of those links that they become do follow, right? So the reason why we're always talking about embeds is you want to embed, get your GMB embed in there, the business embed everything you can to get your property known. And then on top of that, we like to send traffic to it on top of that. That's why I'm always talking about embeds, especially because it's so imagine if you take your whole website, the homepage, right? One page could only be embedded at a time, of course, but you throw it on a Google site and embed it. Now, all those links, every link is a do follow. So if you send links to the Google site, it passes the link juice through to your site. Clean juice, right? You understand the difference? Clean juice. That's why we always talking about, that's why I'm always talking about embeds. Brent and Holly, and yet, let me know what else you guys use it for, please.
No, I agree. It's the same thing.
Oh, let's see here. I've got a stupid question about Gutenberg that's holding up some work for a client.
That's the guy you just spoke to, Robert.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, he was asking.
Patrick, oh shit, that's evil man with those porn backlinks to the client site. Yeah. Well, it's not just that. I mean, it's got to be high DA. It has to be a high DA website. You could take crappy porn backlinks and they'll amount to jack diddly shit. I have people all the time that come in, steal our shit or whatever, and then go try to sell it, and then they put it somewhere else, and they send me backlinks all the time. I could give a shit about it. Rank, don't tank. I love this group, hard ass SEO gangsters who keep it real instead of robbing the gold. They give away gold. Joseph Kahn, do you still recommend citations for new GMBs? I recommend them, but I have a list. Matter of fact, I have an ultimate citation sheet where I go over every niche possible under the sun, every city, every state, every country. I have it all in a beautiful little spreadsheet. So straight up, Bill, Robert, these mugs are in the trenches.
Talking about, I'm gonna answer a question I see you're about to get to. When I'm talking about events, guys, I'm talking about event posts. When you make a GMB post, one of the types is an event post. And then there's a site called Eventbrite, I think it is, and there's many others as well, where you can create a local event or an event. I don't even think it has to be local. No, I think it does have to be local. So I have my VAs set up some nonsense, company name throws golf, some shit at some golf club thing or whatever. And I do the GMB. Everything is around the event, or I make it a sale sometimes. That's a little harder to get approved on Eventbrite. But when I'm talking about events, that's what I'm talking about. GMB event post.
Ollie, what do you use to create your landing pages? What I believe it's WordPress, but Maybe I'm wrong.
So my actual landing pages are always on Get Response.
I was about to say, are you still using Get Response, Holly?
Yeah, you've seen them. You remember you seen them a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the same thing. I'm not gonna spend a lot of money on the landing page because I play a churn and burn game. I'm not gonna. I can't spend hundreds of dollars for that kind of shit if it's gonna go down on, you know.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. When I seen you show, I don't know if it was here or with Jason, but I saw you show one of your opt-in forms, and
Oh
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and I'm thinking, like, yo, Holly's still using the same form. Get the fuck out of here,
Yeah,
bro.
from 2014, it's the same form.
And it was a lesson when I saw it years ago, because I was like, oh shit, I'm too worried about looking pretty, right? Like, fuck
Yeah.
that. Like, just get something up and get the conversions, yo.
Yeah, it's just a simple quote page.
Mm-hmm.
Put your shit in and we'll contact you. That's it.
Period. That's it.
All right, what webinar was that? It was, me and Chris do one once a week, every week, so.
If it was the one I was talking about, it was Link, or the one you had last night.
Yeah, it was the one from last night. We went on for 2 hours last night, so. John Price, Michael's event example is a type of use case scenario that people need to get their head around. This stuff works and what it is versus just saying then hit it with traffic. That helps people get a better grasp. Correct. Any other things like that are huge help. Smaller, simpler strategy. Patrick, yeah, I already moved out of Nova Scotia. Tiny PNG, yep. Joseph Kahn, do you have the best Photoshop settings for images to be small but high quality? We try to do our best, Joseph, but there's specific clients that's going to be impossible for like photographers, kitchen remodels, home remodels, stuff like that, because they really want high def images, and it's going to pretty much be impossible, at least for my findings. Robert, question, Joseph. Patrick, clean juice, okay. Didn't Holly talk about using a special embed network? She has an embed network for YouTube videos, which is what I use, and I've already tested it. And I haven't even shown you, Holly, but I showed Chris yesterday. He couldn't believe this shit. So he will probably be contacting you. I took a screenshot of before what my views were and what my earnings were. And I told him in 3 days, I had already bumped up almost $300 in views. And I said, and that might not seem like much for a channel that's only been monetized since July. I've already earned, as of today, almost 1,900. And probably a good 500 of that comes from since I've started using your embed network.
I really want to make a news network for just videos.
I would highly encourage it.
Yeah, that would
be really cool.
I'm not even into the news sites yet. I think I got my first one approved. My VA said like yesterday, I think. But that's what I thought. I'd be like, yo, it'd be sick to have like a video network, or even like if there'd be a way to just do embeds, right? But that'd be too spammy.
The cool thing is, so like you have, let's say like something, let me think. So like we could do something like homeservicesdaily.com, and then a subdomain that's video.homeservices, and then for maps you could do maps. I mean, you could go pretty crazy with it. It's definitely it always comes back to a hosting issue with MySQL when you use WordPress. That's the only problem. That's a pretty big roadblock.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so
hosting is like a never-ending battle, right? Hosting and proxies are like my it's like ugh.
So here's some for you, Holly. I'll show it to you in another time. But in the past 6 days, the view count went from 161,000 views to 173,000 views. The watch time almost is up 2,000 hours. And the subscribers are up 200. And then the income went up almost it's like $300 so far. So
Yeah,
You
and,
know.
and I don't even hardly even talk about that method because it works so darn good.
Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, so Mark, can we get that citation spreadsheet? I'm gonna be dropping it whenever we talk about citations, which will be, in the next few weeks. But if you want it, just email me or message me on Rank Fortress underneath support. Robert Huey, embed site on the Google business site, shooting links to Google business site. It passes clean juice to the money site. Joseph Kahn. Mark stole the words right out of my mouth. Let's see, Patrick. Thanks, Michael. All right, I got to get off here. It's almost 9:30. Patrick does ask why put the videos on a subdomain instead of a main domain name, Holly. Get that one last question.
I just want everyone to know that I've hit a whole new level of self-worth. Holly just invited me to Facebook.
Oh, why put the
So-
videos on a subdomain instead of a main domain? I don't know, Patrick. I think that, so I build things to sell down the road, right? So I'm building the network and the SaaS as to sell. And it's a domain's gonna be more valuable if it has more pages ranking and more subdomains. And it's a little bit cheaper on your pocket if you can have one domain and have like, I don't know, let's say 10 subdomains on it. You're just gonna have to figure out your hosting. Like I'm looking at mapping to G sites because G sites you don't have to host at all, which would be really, really good price. But there's a problem with the feeds because you got to have feeds for Google News. So you're gonna have to see if you can pull out feeds with like FeedBurner and stuff like that. So trying to cut costs in places like that. But I don't necessarily know if having a subdomain is going to be stronger than having on a regular domain. It just would be for that if I was going to resell it.
Michael dropped in the CTR group. When I'll be posting on the back end, we try to get everybody so they know where that's at too. So it's CTR Geeks group, CTR Geeks. All right, we're gonna get off here. I got like 14 appointments today. So if you send me an email, and I don't be neglected. I'm not neglecting nobody. It's just I got 14 damn phone calls today. So all right, I appreciate you guys. You guys be blessed. I'll have this on the up end and the back end. Thank you, Mike. Thanks,
Peace and
Holly.
love,
Thank you,
y'all.
Brent.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.